Forget that. Heidi ho, Arkansas Pilgrim here again. My headgear is not as nice as Simply Jan Homesteads, but hey, I'll work on that for another video. It's time to do transplanting of my spinach plants that I started as seed. And so here, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, here are some of my spinach plants, and I think you can tell they're ready to transplant because they've got, if you can see, they've got these are, I don't know what they call these, the first leaves that come out when they sprout, but they actually have true leaves coming out now. And I think that's a general sign that when it's time to transplant. And they're cool weather plants, and even though it's still like 3 weeks before average last frost date, it'll be okay because I'll be able to cover them up to protect them. But so let's go ahead and go down. Well, let's give these an extra little bit of water because we want the soil to stick to the roots. We don't want to pull. I don't want to pull the plant out. I want the soil to go with it. So I got a spoon, and it's out of the kitchen, but hey, it's stainless steel. Dirt washes off of that. And I've also pre-watered the area it's going to go in. You're going to water afterwards, but you don't want to stick it in dry soil. You want the area you're going to be transplanting into to be watered also, and it also makes it easier to scoop and have the hole not fill in after you're trying to dig it. And I'm doing what's called square foot gardening in this area, which is basically what you do in raised planter beds. Thank you. You plant at final spacing. You don't do it in a row. You do it in a grid to maximize the amount of produce you get for a given area. And I'll talk about that also later when it comes to planting out in the garden area. But the final spacing for spinach is 3 inches. So basically you put it in a 3-inch grid. And it's not critical, you don't have to have it exact, but I start off measuring just to give myself something as a guide. And let's see, hopefully the camera will stay here in the right place. Okay, you can do, when you start, you can do 1.5 inches from the end or 3, however you want to do it. But I'm going to make my first one, might as well go ahead and just do 3 from everything. 3 by 3. Okay, there. Okay, now I just put a little hole. This is just to mark it every 3 inches. And this is more than a foot. It's not quite 2 feet though. So get 2 more there. It's a little close to that, but it'll be all right. And then you can just, see if you see it, you can just, eyeball it. And so, it's pretty easy to tell if it's a square or not. There. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark those out. Then I'm going to mark it all out first, and then I'll do the transplanting. All right, I've got all my spots marked where I'm going to do the transplanting. Many people will use, the paper, and somebody asked me about this too on my starting seed videos. They'll use the paper cardboard type ones, and they say you can cut it, and then the paper will get soggy, and you can rip a hole in the bottom. I don't like to put any impediment to the roots growing wherever they can. Let's do another. Maybe I can actually get it centered on camera and stay there and not repeat the same mistake. Scooch a little hole, and then put it in. There you go, and then press it in. It's good to have a little indentation too, because when you water, the water can kind of pool there. That's it. Then once you're all done, you give it a good watering again. And that's how you transplant. And I've also watered these now very gently. You don't want to break them with with blasting them with a bunch of water either. But they are susceptible to freezing. So and I'll do a separate video on that. Because there's a way, I've got some stuff where I used to cover them up without smashing them. But that's something you are going to have to be careful of. If you put something out early, you need to be wary if you get a late cold snap. You got to be able to protect it as protect the plants from freezing. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Go Team Woodcutter. Everybody have fun with Shed Wars. God bless y'all, and we'll see you next time.